The beauty of life. In this webinar, what I've been getting very strongly, what's going to come in is that if you imagine yourself as a vessel, and then this vessel is made up of frequency, but it's made up of patterns, belief systems, and in the subconsciousness of different experiences which your ancestors went through and that you went through. And this energy of a wound, when there's an imprint of a wound, it brings you back into that story or into that energy and then remanifests it in our life systems. So, what happened back there, if we don't resolve it, recreates in our life system. So, we could have greed, we could have jealousy, we could have guilt, we can have fear, we can have low self-confidence in the system and playing small, and then negative ego, positive ego. And then if you have those patterns in you, life can open it up and it pulls you back into that wound, which gives you a possibility to transform it. So in this webinar, what I'm going to be doing is first dropping in a lot of consciousness information about how systems work, how to work with them yourself at home, how to clear them yourself at home, and how to know them. So in this frequency, in this webinar, it's interesting, it's a full moon today, so it's pulling up all our shadow aspects and on all our resolved issues. So it's a really good time as the full moon is here now. It's going to bring up all the stuff that's in our system. So then over the weekend, we can transform it. Now, in the webinar, I'm going to be open up specifically where you put the intention, the energy goes. And what I'm going to do is opening up consciousness of different aspects of us so our essence can drop down into our body. So I'm going to be working really opening up the fields with the ancestors, opening up the fields within you, and then clearing those imprints through bringing up your spirit, your wholeness, and then your different aspects like your cosmic body, your Christ consciousness aspect. So your feminine aspect, your divine masculine aspect. So I'm going to work very deeply at opening up these systems and imagine at last that needs to be filled up. And because of these old patterns, that last couldn't fill up. It's almost like there was stones in there. So your spirit couldn't get into the body. So it's all about getting back into full embodiment by clearing these imprints, patterns, frozen trauma that's in the system. So when we're being triggered by life, we first become conscious. I'm going to give you a lot of tools on how to do that. And we become conscious of it. And then it opens up space for you to come back into the body more deeper. That's why, for example, if you're doing the webinars, if you're working on yourself, you'll notice that you sense more whole, more space inside every time you're doing them, because it's clearing the imprints from the past. Healing is not just a quick fix, unfortunately. We'd all love it to be a quick fix, but it's really about cleaning and working with the imprints which are from the ancestors and also the imprints from our childhood. Now, these imprints are very significant to be worked with. Whatever created a wound in your system, it's to resolve them. So that's why in the webinars, I'm working with resolving whatever topics are in your system, imprints are there. But this specific webinar, The Beauty of Life, is about going into first bringing consciousness in and then dropping into higher frequency. So it's not enough to drop into higher frequency unless you know what's going on in the system or know how to align the system. So I'm going to be bringing in a lot of consciousness, a lot of teachings, a lot of new information, a lot of upgrades, and then we'll start really building up the different aspects of your soul so you can fully embody and build your own system up yourself, not me, but yourself. And you can do this in your daily practice in life. So it's really to go back to the simplicity of life and just become more conscious about what patterns are in you, how to know them, how to observe them, how to accept them, and then how to transform them. I'm going to give a lot of keys, a lot of information in this webinar, really for self-healing and for self-empowerment. I love that, you know, you should leave here or leave the webinar feeling more conscious, more of a creator, not a victim, because you know how your system's working. So it's very important for me, not only you can drive your car, learning how to drive, but you know how the car is working. And if there's a problem, you know how to change the oil or how to check for oil, for example. So it's like really knowing thyself and knowing how these patterns work, how they pull us out of our system, and how our ancestral patterns pulled us out of our system, and then knowing how to get back in. And then working with the higher non-physical aspects of our soul to embody them into full embodiment on a physical aspect. So a lot of keys, a lot of archetypes, a lot of new information, and also information I've worked with before, but it's going to go to a very, very deep level. And it's time really to do this. As you can see in the world at the moment, a lot of shadows coming up, a lot of awakening, a lot of empowerment, a lot of consciousness, and a lot of freedom. So this webinar really is going to set you free to be yourself and to bring up your soul expression. So the whole webinar is really about your soul expression. What is in the way of your soul expression? And we will work on true bringing the frequencies up and consciousness, clearing the system naturally, and then bringing up your soul expression into your life so you can live your soul expression this year. So I look forward to seeing you at the webinar. Thank you for being on this journey. And we're doing this, it really, for us, first of all, ancestors, and then the collective. What you do changes the whole ocean. Okay, one drop in the ocean can change the entire ocean. So this is really beautiful. So thank you for being so generous to look not only at yourself, but then to have that ripple effect with the entire collective system. It's time that we all embody and just see what patterns are in us and then transform them. Thank you.